Welcome to Candid Conversations with Candidates, brought to you by Crowing Power in partnership with Lakes Media Collaborative and the Brainerd Lakes Chamber. I'm Lisa Paxton with the Chamber, and it's my pleasure to welcome Gary Heacox. Gary is here as a candidate for Cross Lake City Council. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. We'll start first with your opening comments.
Hi, I'm Gary Heacox. I am running for Cross Lake City Council. A little background, I was born in Red Wing, Minnesota. I grew up on a farm in Wisconsin. My wife Sue and I have been married for 11 years. We have 5 children and 10 grandchildren between us. I am retired from 3M after 42 and plus years, where I worked in production supervisor, quality control supervisor, and on to mechanical engineer. While at 3M, I served as an emergency responder and also trained at Texas A&M Fire School. I also was actively participant in Habitat for Humanity. I also owned and operated a laundromat, so I do have some small business experience. Sue and I bought our cabin in Cross Lake in 1999, and it didn't take long to know that is where we wanted to retire. In 2004, we began building our home, and in 2006, I retired and moved into the home. She had another 4 years to work at 3M, traveling back and forth on weekends. I have served on the Cross Lakes Zoning and Planning Board for approximately 4 years. In that time, I've had the privilege to be part of rewriting Chapter 3 of the City Code as a consultant. In this role, I was able to make and assist in making some changes to that code. I'm running for council because there are some changes that I feel needed to be made, and I would like to be part of making those changes. There are some important issues: maintaining and promoting new business in the community, the city budget, which is always going to be an issue, and I'd like to see fairness to all, whether they're rich or they're poor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Let's go into our questions. You talked about a couple of priorities. What do you think is your top priority? You said you want to see some things change. What's your top priority?
Our top priority in the city is maintaining and promoting new businesses in the community, preventing ordinances that are passed that are not fair to residents and business. We need to prioritize and make appropriate changes where needed. We need to have more of a common sense look at what we're doing.
Okay. Any specifics there when you talked about unfair ordinances? Anything specific that comes to mind?
I don't feel that the sign ordinance in Cross Lake is fair. I work at Ace Hardware part-time, and in any given week I have at least 10 people come in and ask me where things are in the town. They don't know where the drugstore is, they don't know where Rafferty's Pizza is. There's lots of other small shops in Town Square, and we do have a welcome booth in town, but there's only one place for one car to park there. It's just not adequate to what we're doing.
Okay. You talked a little bit about city budgets and challenges there. What are your budget priorities, and how will you pay for them?
Our budget priorities are to get to a point where we're not borrowing money. We're trying to put a little nest egg ahead for a rainy day, and really to come out, and I haven't studied the budget that much. I've only been to one budget meeting, which was last week, and I'm still going over that, and we need to find out where we need to be, and I think we need a detailed plan to get there.
Okay. So still in the learning process.
It's still in the learning process.
Okay, so as you look at other candidates for the Cross Lake City Council position, Gary, what are 3 things that distinguish you from the other candidates?
Number 1, I use common sense when I make judgments. For every yes vote, there's a plus and minus. For every no vote, there's a plus and minus when you're getting the information. And you need time to learn that information and go on from there.
Okay. All right. You talked about a top priority being new businesses and helping existing businesses. How are you going to make sure that the city of Cross Lake is business friendly?
That is a very good question. And it's a hard question to answer because at present time, I don't think it is that friendly. We have a city auto parts there that is moving out of town because they feel that they're being levied out. I think people need to be able to advertise on the street and be able to toot their horn so people know they're there. Mm-hmm. And it's tough.
So that would be a priority for you in
Right.
terms of some of those ordinances in particular.
Right. Some of the ordinances need to be changed and updated.
Okay, great. Let's talk for a minute about community partners. When you're working in a city council, there are a lot of people that you can work with. Do you have some community partners that you anticipate working with to help to get this work done, whether they're organizations, individuals, whatever that might be?
We need to work with the community center. We need to work with all the people in the town. Right now, I feel that everybody in Cross Lake thinks that the lakes are the only resources. The people in the community are the resources. The businesses are the resources. We need to work with them and we need to listen. I think we should be having a town hall meeting once a year to get all these issues out, because otherwise, how do you know they're there? Mm-hmm. And there's a strong sense that only the people that want to complain show up at these meetings, but maybe they have something to complain about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. We've covered a lot of ground. We have a few minutes left. Anything further that you want to share that we didn't touch on in our questions?
Yeah, I think that the city needs to share equipment when needed. Big equipment, we don't need to own a lot of it. If we have another community that has some and we go back and forth, farmers learned the hard way. A lot of them went bankrupt because they all had to go out and get a combine and be done in 2 days and leave everything set. We need to share that, and we need to be open with other communities, and we need to have detailed plans.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us for Candid Conversations with Candidates. You can find this interview and others at votebrainerdlakes.com, and remember, vote November 6th.